go over recruiting interviews. This is going to be used by our operations team, and specifically we're going to be using this for recruiting people for the club, and also figuring out what purpose people serve in our current team that we already have in elective. So, there are 3 types of interviews that we're going to be going over. And out of the 3 types, we personally are going to be using the behavioral and reference interviews. These 2 types mainly focus on, first, the behavioral aspect, which understands how the person is, what characteristics the person entails, what their worth ethic is, what type of personality type they are they type A, are they type B, looking at the Myers-Briggs personality test and understanding if they're INFP, ENTJ, anything like that. So basically, generally understanding if they're introvert, if they're judgmental versus, are they more based on intuition, feeling, basically all the Myers-Briggs characteristics that are there. So behavioral is all about the personality test that we're going to be carrying out. So Myers-Briggs. Don't know if I spelled it right, but continuing on. Alright, so reference. Reference is the other type of interview that we're going to be using to understand the purpose of not only the new members that are going to be coming in, but also the members that are in our current team. So as the operations department, when you're going to be asking the purpose, you want to make sure that these purposes are not purely based on just grades. If it's grades, it's fine, it's great. I mean, there's some sense of motivation, but there's not much room you could play with when we're talking about how to motivate our team members. Because at the end of the day, when we're interviewing these people, we want to understand that there's more potential in these people other than just motivation from grades. So that means that they either want to learn more about programming, they want to learn more about design, understand aspects of business, and just various other characteristics that are out there just other than grades. So reference is what we're going to be using for our purpose interview. So essentially we have 2 types of interviews that we're going to be going through. And out of the 2 types, we want to understand that we want to understand a list of needs that we're going to extract out of these 2 interviews. So we're going to have an introduction of the person. Let's say it's a behavioral introduction, what their background is, how they've grown up, how they think, what their thinking process is, what do they value, and stuff like that. Skills from behavioral skills can be leadership. Do they entail any leadership or public speaking or any communication skills? Behavior. Within behavioral interview, you're going to have behavior, which is given. Work. What is their work ethic? Are they a hard worker? Are they a smart worker? Are they a worker that will procrastinate and eventually get it done at the last minute? What type of worker they are? Money. Are they a person who is more likely to spend more or to spend less? This is important because when, let's say, we're recruiting someone for design, and they want to build a robot, if there's someone who's willing to spend more, or who doesn't mind spending, they'll more focus on the efficiency of the robot rather than the costs, which is a good thing. But at the same time, it could also be a flaw as well, because we have a budget and we want to make sure that we're under that budget. So understanding their spending habits and also special conditions. Do they have any special conditions back at home? For example, are they an orphan, or is there any sort of other details that we need to know? For example, medical history, anything that's allergies, anything like that. And also questions. If there's any questions extra that make you curious about the person, feel free to add those questions to the interview, and make sure those are answered as well. So in general, when we're recruiting our students for the club, and we want to make sure that we go over both the behavioral and the reference interviews, which is basically and we also want to do that for our